Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here and welcome on into my field guide for the Disney 100 Year Celebration minifigure series. This series is going to be available beginning on May the 1st for $4.99 USD or $5.99 Canadian, and Lego and Land sent this to me early to do a couple of different videos. If you want to check out my unboxing of a complete box, I'll link that here at the end of the video, as well as my review if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on each of the 18 minifigures in the series. But this is a very important video because most likely this is going to be the final field guide on the channel. Unfortunately, it looks like, rumor has it, that the Marvel Studios Series 2 will be in boxes. This is our last series in bags. So unfortunately, it's the end of an era, it seems. But we'll have to wait and see come September what actually happens. But let's go ahead and let's take a closer look at each of the figures. We're going to go in order of the release date. Here is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, and I think that it's pretty obvious what you're going to be feeling for here for this figure. The ears are just so unique, and the head shape. I feel like only Mickey has a similar sort of head in the series, but then he's got the hat and his rounded ears. These ears are very unique. If you do want to feel for the 1x2 tile that's included here, just be careful. Dr. Facilier also has that, but then he's got the top hat and everything else for that figure that you'll be able to feel for. So, I don't know. I feel like a combination of the two if you're not too confident with the head mold. But, I mean, the ears, they're differently shaped as well. So, it's pretty clear what to feel for him. Next up here, we have the Evil Queen, and this one I feel like is quite easy to tell because you've got a couple of giveaways. I wouldn't go for the dress piece. There's a couple characters, obviously, in the series that do have the dress, but you actually get two of these pieces in each of the bags, so you could definitely feel that, I think, as well as, though, that shield piece. There's nothing really like that in the series, so I'd say go for that, as well as that flagpole. Don't get that confused with Mickey's broom handle, but I still think that's pretty much a giveaway, especially with the dress piece as well. Just combining feeling for these different parts is a good indication of who you're getting. And here's Pinocchio, and I think for him, it's pretty clear what you're going to feel for. I'd say go for the new headpiece that he's got because it's got a little bit there. If I turn it from the side, you could see it's got a little bit of a pointy nose sticking out. So that's a brand new piece. You're definitely going to feel that for sure if you're feeling through the bag. And also with this figure, you've got a second headpiece there with the little fishbowl. So you could definitely feel that as well. And also the hair and hat piece. It's very unique as well for this figure. And here is Jiminy Cricket, his conscience. And for this figure, I'd recommend going for the hat. The top hat is, of course, used by someone else, but then you've also got the umbrella piece, and I think that's a good giveaway. Also, short legs wise, there's only one other figure with short legs, and you're definitely not going to mistake Jiminy and Stitch, I think, in a bag. So that's just what I recommend feeling for here, and I think that also, Facilier also has just a bunch of other accessories, so you couldn't confuse the two, I don't think. And here is the Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey Mouse figure. I think for this one, you're going to feel for, I don't know, you could feel for the giant staff piece as well as the broom piece is pretty unique. The bucket piece as well. You've got a handle, which you get a second one. But the head mold there with the hat, it's just unlike anything else in the series. I think that's obviously probably your biggest giveaway for feeling for Mickey. And here's the Queen of Hearts. Do I have to say what to feel for? It's the giant dress piece. No one else in the series has it. It is huge. You're definitely going to feel that, as well as that hair and crown mold there that she's got as well. Very unique to this figure. Here is Sleeping Beauty, or Princess Aurora, and for her, I think that you should definitely feel for the hairpiece. No one really has a hairpiece quite like this, I would say. It's definitely quite unique, but who knows, necessarily in the bag it might feel a little bit different. She does have a dress, but of course there are other figures in the series that have a dress, but no one else has an owl piece. The owl is very unique. I definitely feel like you'd be able to tell what that is in the bag. And here is Cruella, Deville, and Spot. I think that it's definitely the easiest to feel for Spot. Again, accessory-wise, very unique. You know, there is another dog in the series, but it's not a puppy, not that small. The hairpiece, though, is very unique, too. Like, you could definitely feel for that. And the little tuft on the top of the head is very, I think, telling for what hairpiece this is, maybe compared to some other ones. And here is Robin Hood, and I think that it's pretty obvious of what you're gonna feel for here. It's the giant headpiece. You know, I'm just looking around. Maybe you might mistake it for Mickey, potentially, maybe even Prince John, but I don't know. That's a lot of. It's very pointy. You've got pointed ears. You've got the pointed hat, the nose. Like, I think it's a pretty good giveaway for that. But if not, you do have the tailpiece to feel for. No one else has that, as well as the bow and arrow, I think is a pretty safe bet as well. Well, here is Prince John. And for him, again, I definitely feel for the head. I think it's a pretty big giveaway who it is when you're feeling for that. The crown piece and the head is just so unique. But if not, I think I'd feel for the bag. The bag you might mistake for someone else's headpiece or something like that. I'm not too sure, but I still think that it's pretty easy to tell Prince John in the bags. And here is Pocahontas. I would say for her, what I'd feel for is obviously this giant hairpiece here blowing in the wind. Like, look at that. There's no mistaking that at all in the bag. But also included with her is a couple of leaf pieces. You'd also be able to feel a ton of those inside of the bag. And here is Fa Mulan. For her, it's a bit of a tougher one. No one else has a sword in this series, so I'd say definitely you could feel for that. Now, while I may not be happy with Crickee's inclusion, I actually think that feeling for the pyramid pieces may actually be your best bet because of how pointy they are, how small they are. There's going to be 2 in the bag, and I actually think that might be your biggest giveaway. And here is Stitch. I feel like you could definitely obviously tell the giant headpiece. You've also got 2 blasters included, but he's also got 4 arms, and that is such a unique piece. I definitely feel like you'd be able to tell that in the bag. Here is Princess Tiana. For her, again, there's a lot of figures with dresses. I would say the 2x3 tile is probably your best bet. Now, of course, you want to make sure that when you're feeling for it, don't mistake like this. You know, it is also 3 studs long, so just be careful. But the hairpiece is pretty unique with the bun as well. But the frog piece, I would also say I would maybe use that as a confirmation. There is some other smaller elements in the series, but I still think the frog is quite unique. Here is Dr. Facilier. Again, I'd go for the top hat. I know what I said before. With Jiminy, they do share the same top hat piece. However, yeah, now I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, you might feel the cane, and you might think that that's the umbrella. I don't know. It's a very unique shape, the umbrella. But also, Jiminy has short legs. Facilier, he's got regular legs. There's also the 1x2 tile that you could also feel for here. And you're going to have an extra flat stud, an extra regular stud for the cane. So he's going to have a lot more pieces than Jiminy. And here is Baymax. I think the biggest thing that you're going to feel for here is that torso with the giant arms. There's no mistaking that at all for anything else. But also, you're getting a ton of parts there. So you've got a total of 5 pieces there, but then the little side pieces there as well come with an extra one. So he's going to have a ton of parts. There's no mistaking Baymax when you're feeling for him. And here is Miguel and Dante. You know, you could feel for the guitar. There is, obviously, Ernesto has a guitar as well, but he's got the sombrero. This, you know, you've got the hood piece there. You could definitely feel for that, as well as Dante is a pretty big giveaway. And he's the only figure with 2 regular minifigure heads. Obviously, we talked about Pinocchio earlier, has the fishbowl and his head, but he's got the nose. This has 2 headpieces, the hoodie, as well as the hairpiece. There's so much for Miguel to feel for. Here is Ernesto de la Cruz, and I would say for him, you'd feel for his guitar, but also the sombrero. There is no mistaking the sombrero for anything else in the series at all. That and the Queen of Hearts' dress, I feel like, are the 2 most obvious pieces of everything. Well, there you have it, everyone. That is my official feel guide for the Disney 100 Years Minifigures series. I think that it's a pretty unique series in terms of each of the figures. You're definitely I don't think you're gonna have a hard time with most of the series. Maybe some of them, but I think overall, there's definitely something unique for each of them that you'll be able to figure out. But I hope that this was helpful. Comment down below if I did help you out. I'd love to see those comments. Also, at the end here, if you want to check out my review and hear my thoughts on each of these figures, I'll link that, as well as an unboxing of a sealed box if you want to check that out as well. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. I will see you all in the next one.